What's going on, everybody? Tyler and Sean here from Rendered Reality, and thanks for joining us again on Coffee and VR, your weekly VR podcast. And we are joined today by the one and only Eric for President. Thank you, Eric, for joining us today, man. What's going on?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. We're excited to have you
we're
on.
Definitely excited.
I will go ahead and apologize. If you guys do have any buffering today, please stick with us. We're running into some ISP issues with Sean's provider.
Major issues. We've been dealing with it for like the past
issues,
2 hours, trying to get it figured out. It's not on my end. We reset the gateway, reset the modem. I was on the phone for about an hour with the cable company. My internet speed is like 800 download and 40 upload, and all of a sudden it'll just tank to like 1 upload. And so I don't know what's going on. They're sending a technician. He's supposed to be here Tuesday, so hopefully this is the last time we have any issues. It should be good to go after this episode. But it is a Thursday night live stream for Coffee and VR, which is kind of different, a little bit weird. Usually we are on Saturday morning, as most of you know. So thank you for joining us tonight. If you do watch this Saturday morning and you realize it's not live, just go ahead and drink your coffee and pretend we're live. You can join our Discord, chat in there if you want to talk about what's going on. And I know German Rifter will be doing that on Saturday. He said it's a little too late for him tonight. But thanks for joining us on a Thursday for Coffee and VR.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So have you been, I know we know you're a busy guy, right, Eric? And, and if you guys have stayed, in touch with him and his channel, you know that it's kind of changing here as of late, and all for the good, actually, which we're going to get into. But, in the meantime, have you had time to play anything? I mean, we know you're a busy guy, so, we like to kind of talk a little bit about what we've been playing, but it's hard sometimes, right? I mean, to get some games in. It's rough,
insane.
Right?
Very insane. But I got a shout out to one game that I don't think many people have played. Super early access though, but Cards and Tankards. I'm having quite a bit of fun on.
Nice.
It is a VR trading card game. Definitely it's on SideQuest. They're trying to get on App Lab, but it is free. It's also on Steam. It's free. It's crossplay.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
it's entirely free game. It's definitely early access. So I think trading card game vets are gonna feel right at home. It's almost like a card shop type thing because everyone's in the same room. So you'll feel right at home. You'll understand how to play. It's definitely got some things to iron out, but the dev is super communicative. He talks with everyone. He's working on it. I think it's a great game. It's all I'm playing right now.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. I actually have not played that. I haven't checked that out. So
were you into card games yourself before?
I played Magic the Gathering competitively for almost 2 decades.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
I love card games. They're
Awesome.
so much
Sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was actually not really on board with all the I don't know, let's call it board games or tabletop games. And I've had my interest peaked as of lately, and sadly we can't
say
talk
anything
about why,
too much.
but
Yeah.
man, it changed my mind completely.
I think I can make a guess.
crazy.
Yeah, probably. NDA stuff is
crazy.
Yeah, NDA stuff, you got to be careful. But yeah. And Eric is he does not have a green screen. So if you can't see him kind of flicker and stuff a little bit, he is using the NVIDIA broadcast software to key himself out. So it doesn't work quite as well as a green screen, but it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive for what it is. Yeah, for what it is, it's not bad. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So this week I actually played quite a bit of stuff. I played some pinball today. I played Star Wars pinball today that came out. I played Zenith. I was actually in beta testing and for this week pretty much, and we're allowed to talk about the state of Zenith right now. I'm going to show some gameplay coming up later on. I have messed around more with Airlink. We talked about Airlink a little bit last week, and I was saying how virtual desktop was still better performance, but I am getting better performance. Yeah, everybody's different. Some people tell you Airlink is 10 times better. Some people tell you virtual desktop. I have played with some more settings in Airlink. If you go inside the headset, and I turned it off of dynamic and I set it to fixed, so a fixed megabit rate, and that seemed to help a lot, and I was getting much better performance, so I was happy with that. But yeah, I've played a bunch of stuff, and like we talked about, we played some stuff we can't talk about yet, but very exciting. We will be talking about it soon, and
we definitely will.
Yeah, really liking some of that. But what did you play anything this week, Tyler? I mean, I know we've both been working like crazy, and
I jumped into a random match or two of Population 1.
Yeah.
It's always a good pickup for me. That and Pistol Whip are my buy 2 pickups, man.
Yeah, and we did play last night. We played for a couple hours last night, but we can't talk about what we were playing last night. But yeah,
I mean, I'm not under NDA. If you guys want me to just you say the name instead of you guys saying it.
Right, exactly.
Luckily, we'll be able to talk about it pretty soon. But yeah, so and if you are wondering why we're on a Thursday night too, I'm going to be out of town this weekend. Me and the wife are headed to Clearwater, Florida, so I'm super excited. I know Reality Check VR is out there in Clearwater, so I don't know. I might run into him somewhere around there. So I'm very excited, but definitely we'll be back to Saturdays after this.
I wanted you to go see the boys at YAHA, man. I mean, that would have been.
Well, I think
awesome.
they have, like, if you look at their website, it says something about being in Florida, but they're actually based outside of the United States. So I don't know if that's just an office that they have in Florida. Because when I looked that up, I was like, dude, I want to go see the YAHA stuff. And talking about the YAHA stuff, we can get into a little bit of that. We talked about this a bunch last week, but they have actually crushed the Kickstarter. I mean, their Kickstarter now, so their goal was $100,000, and they're currently, when I looked earlier today, it was at $984,000. The Kickstarter is right now, absolutely crushing it. I mean, they're going to go over $1 million, I'm sure.
I mean, how could they have not have gone under 100? I think they just, undermined themselves a little bit.
They knew they were going to crush that $100,000 goal. I'm still on the fence about getting the 360 platform. Me and you were talking about that a little bit. I did figure out how I can add that stuff in there now, the add-ons, but it's going to add quite a bit of money because if you do the 360 platform, I'd want to upgrade to the Pro version because that gives the built-in breakout box inside the base to where it would be easier cable management and stuff. But I mean, that's a lot of extra money. So I'm really debating. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm still thinking about it. Hey, you haven't ordered one yet either, have you, Tyler?
It's still in the cart, man.
You just haven't hit the buy
button.
Pull
the trigger.
Yeah, right?
Right, exactly. That's the thing. I would love to sit this by my cars in the garage. Yeah. Because the first thing any car guy that comes over is like, what's that?
Yeah.
I want to get in
Get
that.
Me in
like,
that
what is? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just shock the crap out of them. You know what I mean?
That'd be
Put
awesome.
them on a track, throw them on the Nürburgring, drive whatever car you want.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's where it just.
I agree. Have you ever tried any of this stuff, Eric? Have you tried like the first YAHA or anything like that?
I tried the first one. I'm not going to pull the purchase on this one for many different reasons, but I've just spent too much money on other fun toys.
I know the feeling.
I think they're dope. I don't. It's not something that I have the space for, or personally would probably use too much. But it's like I think it's cool because you always hear like I'm gonna say like the VR is dead articles and stuff. Like there's all these accessories. There's too much. This like who's gonna use it? Fair, no problem. We're not like. I'll concede every argument to you, but I won't concede it's sold. It's proof that people don't really care. Whatever your argument was for the state of VR, the state of this, that, if it sells, it shows people don't care. They bought into the future and the dream.
Absolutely.
And all your arguments are invalid because it's sold.
And it's selling like crazy right now. I mean, it's picking up like crazy. So, Mash Daddy Cool VR, thank you for that $5 super chat. He says, cheers from Quest 2 Community Facebook group.
Oh, cool. Cheers, man.
Glad
you came from there. Yeah, good
that's
to see
really
you.
cool.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
But yeah, I mean, it's, again, though, how many things do people buy that they buy, use a couple times, and sit anyways? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be VR stuff. It can be anything.
Yeah, treadmills.
Treadmills, exercise bikes.
Any exercise equipment come January of every year, and then by March, it all never gets used anymore.
Have you heard of a Peloton? Let's spend $2,000 on a bicycle and ride.
No one judges you for that, but you can buy something like this and you get. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this thing. We talked about it a bunch last week, but I just had to bring it up again because of that Kickstarter getting crushed. I mean, it's absolutely awesome.
What are they at now? They're 800.
It was 984 when I checked earlier. 984,000. That was a couple hours ago, so it might be up from there. And it might go up a little bit more if I add that 360 platform. I don't know. It's just so much money to spend, but we'll see. I think
how much is it all the way, like all in? How much is it?
So I got the early bird. I got the early bird price for $790 for the base package, and then $200 shipping. I think all in, if I add the base and the Pro platform, since I'm not getting the early bird price on those, I think it's close to $2,000, right? It's like $1,800 or something like that.
If I go all in, it's $2,000 for sure.
Yeah, it's more because you didn't get the early bird price.
With the base, it's $1,090.
It's $1,090.
Then the base is $4 something plus another $100 shipping. If you want a seat with it, it's another I don't know, $250. So yeah, it's like
the shipping is what adds up. The shipping is what kills you, really. That's the only bummer. But I don't know.
Real Superman in chat said $996, so they're about to pass a mil here.
Yeah, they'll be over a million for sure. They'll be over a million. It's awesome though. I'm excited for this thing. I can't wait. Even without the 360 base, I think I'm still gonna have a blast playing some driving games. We played some driving games too this week. We played Project Cars 2, and we played a set of course Competizione. Did I say it right?
There you go.
I don't know if I said it right, but we did have fun. Tyler finally got me into some Sims, and like Eric said, sim games in themselves aren't really my go-to. Tyler usually wants me to play on them. I'm like, I don't know. I got to get everything out, but I'm hoping with this that this is going to change me, and I'm going to want to play these kind of games all the time because I can't put this thing away. It's going to sit out in my room all the time, so it'll always be ready to go.
I'll watch big screen. That just looks fun to watch a movie in.
Yeah, right? I know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You can lay this thing back like completely like vertically, basically.
Yeah,
like,
even roller coaster stuff. I can't wait for people to come over and put in roller coasters in this thing. Even something basic like that is going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to be great.
You ever use the Oculus browser for one of those roller coaster ones?
The browser for it?
No, I've used like YouTube. I've watched like the YouTube
or like 180
videos and stuff.
You can go on like Oculus browser and do like WebXR roller coaster ones. I always skipped them, and I did one the other day just to see. Just big smile on my face. It's way more
seriously.
It's pure fun.
I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. That's cool. I like the roller coasters. I like that stuff in VR, especially if I can get some motion going. What's up?
There you go. Chad Williams in chat. Mine was $2,400 with everything, just no arcade version.
Yeah.
You didn't get
but
the
that's
arcade,
still cheap.
Loaded.
That's still cheap for what it is.
It is.
I mean, it's a lot of money to spend, but it's cheap for what you're getting. It really is
because
a deal.
Like the DOF H3, which has your 3 directions of movement. That's not even their H6. It's $2,600 landed in the States. So, and that's without a seat too.
Yeah.
So that's that's got everything. So it's still a killer deal.
Yeah.
Really
What's
is.
the price for the future, guys?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent all this money on headsets and stuff. I mean, you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
So have you guys made your Oculus avatars yet? Have you guys done the new avatar thing on Oculus?
No.
No.
I got no interest in it.
Right. What am I using it for? What am I going into Horizon to use it?
No, I mean, this works in, let's see here. It works in Poker Stars, which is an awesome one. There's a handful of stuff.
I will say Poker Stars, it was fun because they have a full body instead of the traditional. That one made sense.
I actually meant to go in. Oh, also Pro Putt, Topgolf Pro Putt. Epic Roller Coasters. We're talking about roller coasters. It works in there. Avatars will soon show up in Synth Riders, and there's that new bowling game that just hit the coming soon thing on the Quest today. But I'm curious. I wanted to go into space, or what is it called? Facebook Horizon. I wanted to go into that today because I was curious if they're using these in here yet. And somebody can tell me, because one thing I hated about that is it didn't have any legs. You were just like a floating body, and that drove me crazy in Horizon. So hopefully if they at least put these in there, then we at least have some legs in there, because I haven't been in Horizons in forever though, because it kind of
it's a good thing. It's a necessity. It's the next step.
Yeah. It is.
I mean, we needed it.
I mean, I made mine, and mainly it was because of Greg's VR. He was in Discord, and he was talking about, he put a video or something of his where he made his. So I was like, all right, I'm going to jump in there and check it out last week or whatever. So I did make mine. I posted it to Twitter. A lot of people said it looked like me. I don't think they had a big enough beard option. They had beard options. They just didn't have anything this glorious in there. So
that's good. That's glad nobody needs one that big.
I know. Tell me about
Eric thought his was big until he came on here.
No, I'm like, I'm compensating. We're just gonna go like this the rest of the episode.
That's why I have to. I just can't compete.
Tyler's gonna be growing one this year. He's gonna be growing one this year. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It is definitely gonna happen. I did want to mention too, with Star Wars just coming out today. I guess we could jump into that. Did either one of you get a chance to play? Sure. I know Tyler didn't get a chance to play that yet today. Did you play it yet today, Eric? Are you planning on picking it up?
Probably not. To be honest.
I'm not a big pinball guy. Like, I never picked up Pinball FX or whatever, and a lot of people were telling me it was really good. I never picked that up, but I did pick this one up, and I was actually really impressed. And it's pretty cool when you go into the space that you have, because as you play the game and you get unlocks and rewards and stuff, you can actually decorate your space. So there's spaces for posters. You can put big life-size Vaders in there, like all different kinds of stuff. And there's 8 different pinball tables, and it's actually a lot of fun. It actually translates very well to VR because there's so much going on the table, you know what I mean? And that's how it is in real life. You know, you're hearing the dings, you hear all the noises, this plays the music, and it has different cues for different things. And the cool thing is that, you actually have Vader or whatever, you know, standing beside you and moving around sometimes, which actually can be a little bit distracting sometimes. And I hated the teleport. I finally figured out that there's an option that you can use free locomotion in this, which I was so happy, because it was using the Robo Recall teleport. If you remember that, like you would teleport and then you could turn the thing for which, when you teleport, which way you would face. Is terrible. I hate that. I hate that form of teleport.
I get it. Yeah. I get it for like mobility reasons, but
can you bring people into this?
What's that?
At all? Can you bring friends into this room?
No, I don't think there's any multiplayer or anything. I wish. I really wish. And I was a little disappointed too, because when they said 8 tables, I thought you would go into a room and you would have 8 tables to choose from, right? And it's really one table that you go to, and then you select which Star Wars pinball game you want to play. But it was pretty good. One of the ones, what's the new show that everybody's talking about, the Star Wars show? Mandalorian. So I did that one. I was playing. I couldn't think of the name. I was playing that table, and that one was pretty cool. And I got like 9 million points, and I was like, "Holy crap, I'm doing something!" I went to the leaderboard, and the top guy was like 32 million. I was like, "Oh man, that was terrible score. Like that wasn't anything." I thought it seemed big, but yeah. So, but it's pretty good. I mean, I'm curious to see people in chat and people watching afterwards leave a comment. What do you think about this?
I mean, for me, I wasn't really interested. Like, I'd rather play like some of the emulator stuff, you know. But I guess
you see
after
that Commodore 64
other game
emulator.
we talked, well, I know the other game we talked about though has changed my mind about some things like this.
Yeah.
So you know that just that I can't. But you think like VR, you know, just standing at something wouldn't really be that exciting. But it is, because it changes everything. I don't know. It just,
I mean, I literally felt like, I mean, I haven't played a pinball game like this in real life in a long time, but sitting here, you know, standing at this table playing this, I felt like I was standing at a pinball table, you know, I was focused on the same things, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching all the things, the dings and the bells and everything go crazy. I mean, it for all intents and purposes, I was standing at this this pinball arcade machine playing it, and I was like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it was really cool. I still think it would be cool to have some kind of multiplayer where you could have friends in there with you and stuff like that, but I wish that for everything. But I was impressed, and I think the early reviews and stuff, people are really liking this. Like you see, you know, the Mandalorian standing there and the Baby Yoda and stuff. It is really cool. And I mean, like they fly in when you start it, you know, and then when you lose, they like are like, what the heck, you suck, and then they take off, you know, and it's pretty cool.
Though I do feel like if Star Wars just puts their name on anything, it's gonna be well received. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like I don't know if they could do anything wrong almost, but I'm sure they could. But
I don't know.
It'd be pretty hard to.
Yeah.
It's pretty inviting though when you have like these properties that everyone knows, because at least if you're kind of nervous on what to buy, what to get into, you have a property that you feel comfortable with, familiar with, that you love, and now you experience it differently. Like they could do any Star Wars game, and if they just ported it to VR, people would play it because they just want to play the same thing.
Sure.
Totally agree. I mean, I even think for a Star Wars fan, even if you're not a pinball fan, I think they're going to love this for the fact that you're in that room. You can walk around that space and you can decorate it and all different kinds of Star Wars stuff, you know, and they play cues from the movie and all the songs that, you know, the music's all in there. And I mean, Star Wars fans, for sure, I think are going to geek out on it. I think they're going to love it. But talking about arcade stuff, though, there is a new one coming. Oh, that's the gift. Let me put the trailer. Yeah. So this is Arcade Legend, and this is actually going to be multiplayer. And you're going to be able to set up your space, and I think it's 4 people. I think it's 4-player multiplayer, which I just saw this. I was just reading about this today, actually. And it looks really good. So they said the demo is coming in June. The Steam page is up, so you're able to go to the Steam page now and wishlist this. It's called Arcade Legend. It supports up to 4 players. And so the article reads that you're supposed to think of this kind of like a game within a game. Basically, the backstory is that you've just inherited a dilapidated arcade, and it's up to you to return what was once a world-class family entertainment destination to its former glory as the ultimate gaming haven. To do that, you'll need to unravel a series of deep mysteries surrounding the old arcade. Each time you unlock a mystery, you are rewarded with a new feature that you can use to upgrade, customize your arcade. As you continue to improve your space, you'll attract more customers and raise greater revenue, which can be used to purchase official LAI game titles, so different arcades and stuff. So it's kind of an interesting backstory, I guess. When you see this. Yeah, I would
It's
just
almost
think,
like a tycoon game, but
Yeah,
yeah,
a little
yeah, it is a little bit. Like when I first saw this, I was like, oh, cool. You know, you'll be able to pick all these machines and put them wherever you want. But the sound of it, you can't just do that right off the bat. You actually have to play through the game to unlock things to be able to do that. And that's kind of cool. I mean, I feel like that keeps you coming back. And then you can invite your friends over and be like, man, look at this place. You know, I've been playing this game way too much. Look at this sweet arcade that I've built, you know?
That's sweet, because one of my favorite things to do is go to, like, I don't know if you've ever been to like an arcade bar.
Yeah.
Like where they have the old school machines. I would love to go into this with a couple friends, maybe have a couple drinks. Yeah, just hang out. You know what I mean? Play some arcade games with them and stuff. Like,
we used to play that.
Awesome.
What was that one arcade game that was on Oculus that we used to play together?
I know. I was trying to think of it.
Pierhead Arcade. It was Pierhead Arcade or something like that.
Yeah, it was Pierhead.
Yeah.
But it was the multiplayer was broken for like a year, and they kept
always had
promising
issues,
it would work and wouldn't work.
We could get it to work sometimes, and then other times it wouldn't work. I think we actually got in there together like maybe 3 or 4 times. I don't know.
You could win like the prizes. You could win a drone and like fly the drone around, which was super cool. But like you couldn't get in with people, and it was so annoying. But
I really appreciate that they at least have a story going on in this, because too many games, if they had just done this arcade, it's another gimmick game. But you have a story. Like, that's a nice reward system. It's still fun, it's still arcade, but you have a reason to keep playing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think.
You don't go in and see everything in the first 5 minutes. Right. You're like, okay, this is cool, but now I'm bored.
Yeah, I mean, it gets old quick if you can do that. If you can literally go in and put every machine in there and set it up, it's like, oh, like you said, that was cool, but then what brings you back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a reason.
You want to feel earned.
Right. Yep. Sure. So I think this could do pretty good. Right now, they're saying that they only have plans for Steam. So there's no other plans for any other platform, which hopefully they change that. I mean, the bad thing is nowadays we all know you got to get on the Quest. You know what I mean? That's where your big money is. That's where you're going to make a lot of money for a developer, you know, and that's where, you know, there's such a big market right now for Quest. You know, I mean, it's hard to not get on Quest and be successful. But, so hopefully they do that. But that is,
But we're seeing the PC stuff become more accessible for even people with, you know, Quest 2s and stuff. Now with AirLink, you don't have to have anything to basically.
As long as you got a PC.
The PC itself.
Yeah. There's so much.
And
I mean,
this won't be a demanding game. It's not like it's going to require a 3080 or 3090, to run it. So no.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
So it's pretty cool.
So it is kind of, I mean, there's a lot of options for people nowadays, man.
Yeah.
PC gaming is the next step for people with Quest 2, I feel like. Yeah. Because after you play out that library, or you see everybody playing, you know, stuff online and custom maps in Pavlov, and that's what you want to play. So
contractors, I mean, those custom maps and contractors. We have a video out that people still watch, and they ask all the time, like, how are you playing these Call of Duty maps and contractors, and they're Quest people, you know what I mean? It's like, well, this is the PC build, you know, and you got to explain it. Actually getting into that, I actually wanted to talk to you guys because I saw an article from Mark Zuckerberg suggested in an earnings call that consumers aren't interested in VR headsets with wires anymore. And I'm curious to see, like, are we going to see any more wired headsets? Like, I mean, but
we're gonna see them, but
how successful? I mean, the problem is now that the problem I'm seeing right now is that, you know, so with AirLink coming out, I see tons of people talking about that right now. Like on the forums, like people are blown away that they can wirelessly play PC VR games on their Quest, even though they've been able to do that for a long time through virtual desktop. But people haven't done it. You know, there's tons of people that never even realized they could do it or never wanted to mess with it. You know, now it's 2 toggle switches to do it, and people are really catching on. And so, I mean, it's just crazy to me that you can go buy a $299 headset and it's also a wireless PC VR headset. You know what I mean? Like, it just blows my mind still, even to this day, even though I've been playing virtual desktop wirelessly for years now. But I mean, what do you think? Like, I mean, the one headset that comes to mind is the PSVR 2, because they talked about having a wired headset. But I mean, is any wired headset coming out now going to be behind the times, and are a lot of people going to snuff their nose at them?
I don't buy fully. I think I see where he gets his correlation, but I'm not entirely convinced that the Quest 2 people only want wireless. I think that was a big factor in it. But I think if Oculus had come out with a wired Quest 1 that was the same price, it still would have sold just as well. I think what they had going for them more than wireless was price. That was always the number. I mean, price had always been the #1 barrier. So they could have made a wired headset and it would have sold. Now they made it wireless, so now people are looking at that as the standard. But I don't think the wireless was the sell originally for the Quest. I think it was how cheap it was.
Yeah,
I think it's
it
a
had
benefit.
to go on one. It's the no PC. It's the not having to buy another $1,500, $2,000 PC with a good graphics card to run everything, and the hurdles. And people don't want to do the updating. They want it to be done automatic. They put their headset on.
Yeah, they
it's
don't
updated
want the
if it's
technical issues.
updated. Yeah, exactly. They want to jump in. Just like why they won't use things like SideQuest or virtual desktop. Yeah, they don't want to jump through those hoops. I just talked to somebody this week, a guy working on a production line, and he just got a Quest 2. Knew nothing about SideQuest, had heard about it, but didn't want to mess with it. And I'm like,
I have family members that have them that if I wouldn't tell them all this stuff, they would have no idea about any of that kind of stuff. And there's so many people out there now that are that way. And the thing for me is that we come from, I mean, all three of us, we've all been doing this long enough that we come from wired VR headsets. So that's what we were used to. You know, we started out with wired headsets, and we, you know, going to a wireless headset, we're like, wow, this is cool. You know, I don't get tangled up in the wire. I don't have to worry about which direction I'm facing. But I think it's harder for the people that start out wireless. You know, they start out with the Quest 2. They've been playing that, you know, for what, 6 months now or however long it's been. And then to go to a wired headset, I feel like that's a lot harder because, you know, from going wired to wireless, it's like, oh, this is freeing. You know, I don't have to worry about anything. But when you're used to not worrying about anything and then you have to go to a wire, it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know how that transition happens because I've never had to do it. You know, I'm programmed still.
It is, but you gotta take the good with the bad. Like, if you want those experiences and that, you know, no latency and the high visuals and stuff like that, you have to. There's trade-offs. Right. You know, you're not gonna have all of it in one. We don't have it yet. Not yet. But it always steps farther and farther, anyways. You know, with technology and resolution and stuff.
Cove PU just bought us 6 coffees. I totally appreciate that.
Cheers.
That's
6
awesome.
coffee.
Love coffee. That's probably how many I drank today, actually.
Right? Oh my gosh.
I know we've all been drinking a lot of coffee.
I think the whole PC VR versus the Quest stuff, it's like, I get it. It's mostly driven by emotions. You know what I mean? A lot of people started by, they didn't have a choice in PC VR, and they were accustomed to one thing, and then, you know, they did that for years, and that's the trend. Oculus Quest comes in and to me resets where you start. It resets the starting point. And a lot of people take that poorly because you attach to the products you like.
Right.
They're not just, it's not just that product over there. It is my product. It is me. It represents a part of my day, a part of the time that I spend. Absolutely. So you take that to heart.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you need to take, I'm okay with taking 10 steps back. I think that was the right move.
I would agree. I mean, to get into mass market, the more people that have it,
for sure.
the more developers we have, the more you know, traffic it brings, the more money into this ecosystem and all of it.
I mean, it's worked. Obviously, they're selling a ton of them, so they're, you know, it has worked. But I mean, I am curious what it'll do for the future, though, because of the success of the Quest 2, you know, and now the success of being able to wirelessly play, that's getting, you know, more exposure now because of AirLink. But what will that do? Like, so say Index 2 comes out.
I don't think it's going to do anything. It's going to do nothing.
You don't think?
Because look at gaming. Look at gaming right now, right? You have totally wireless, right? Nintendo Switches selling like hotcakes. You have PlayStations, Xboxes selling like hotcakes. It's not stopping
but that's
any
different.
of them from their sales.
That's different playing
but
a wired
one's wireless
console.
and one's wired.
Yeah, but that's different.
But I understand it's different in the aspect of, you know, freedom and movement in VR. Yes, I understand that. But it's not splitting that like, it's not, I'm only buying one.
No, I agree. I mean, I would buy
both. You know,
I don't have a problem buying a wired headset. You know, if an Index 2 came out and it was wired, I would order it. But I'm just curious.
That's my point. It's not going to stop one or the other.
I know, but I'm curious.
Have both. I know, but a wired and a wireless.
I know, but I'm curious what these companies are going to think now. If they're going to, like, consider releasing a wired headset and be like, well, maybe we should, you know, release it with a wireless adapter. Or, I mean, you know, if they're just going to consider, even PlayStation, you know, if they're going to consider, because the Quest 2 is still going to be a big competitor of how many PSVR 2 headsets they sell. I mean, that's going to be their main competitor, I would say. I mean, PSVR 2 is still going to crush it. I don't have any doubt in my mind they're going to do incredible, but I still think it's going to make companies second guess if they want to release a headset that's wired. And I think that it's going to get, you know, as AirLink keeps improving, you know, we've seen virtual desktop improve. You can do 120 hertz wireless on virtual desktop. I mean, I just think that I'll be interested to see what happens in the future with these next headsets. You know, we know HTC is about to announce a wireless headset May 11th and 12th at ViveCon. You know, that's coming up. So I don't know. I'm just really curious to see what happens, in the future with these headsets and how the success of the Quest 2 being able to play wireless PC VR and stuff, how that impacts the market. I mean, it has to have an impact somehow.
In a way, it's like, I'm not saying this is what I believe, but it's a thought that we compare these Oculus Quest sales, like you said, that they're going to take things away from PSVR 2 or possibly Xbox, whatever. I make an argument that they're not competing with any of those platforms. So if you take all the sales of traditional gaming, like console gaming or PC gaming, it's a blip on the radar compared to mobile gaming dollars spent. And I have a feeling Facebook's more starting there. They're not a mobile gaming platform. They're not going lowbrow, but they went back that far because that is a money pit. Yeah, and you kind of see that in the titles they're doing. They're not competing with consoles. They have no interest in competing with consoles. They're not competing with PC VR really either. They're taking on the mobile scene, getting the casual players over, making a boatload of cash, and as the tech improves, we'll get there eventually. But I don't think they're competing with any of those. I think they're taking on the mobile market first.
Right. No, I agree. And even with processing power, Carmack was saying that they want to compete with Chromebooks. You know what I mean?
saw
Which
that.
is low end. So that should show where their target is bottom. And being something different at that level.
There's a lot of money in that area, though.
Oh, there's the most money in that. Yeah. Oh, tons.
Wesley here just bought 3 coffees too. I want to thank him for that. That's really awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did want to mention, I know Tyler is super excited about Carve Snowboarding coming out. And I saw this on Twitter that they posted because we talk about songs and music in VR and how important that is. And they're actually going to have 67 songs with 27 different artists. Awesome. And that's just, they could add more too. That's, as far as I know, that's starting out in the game. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, there's a big list of the songs and stuff going on the screen now. That's not me in the video with a half-shaved off beard, I promise you. but
should be. I'm gonna come find you at night.
I'll probably do that once I'm ready to take the beard off. I'll probably do something crazy like that, and we'll do a live.
You know what I feel bad about for this game is I think them being in the Oculus showcase was the worst thing they could have done, because this is an awesome looking game. That showcase got overshadowed by all the negativity about it, and this thing didn't get enough attention. The second I heard 1080 snowboarding, I immediately hooked, because that was a baller ass game.
That's what Tyler did. We were literally watching the live stream together,
and
Tyler was like, 1080 snowboarding, like he just perked up like it was Christmas morning. I mean, he was so excited.
100%, man.
Yeah, so
such a good game and such a good looking game. This looks so much fun, and it just was too early on in that Oculus showcase where everyone was just waiting for something huge and didn't give that the attention it should have.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I mean, I think it's going to be good. I know Tyler's super excited, and I'm excited too. Like, I really like the VR skater, and this is kind of similar in the, you have a snowboard on your feet, instead of a skateboard, but similar premise. And I mean, I'm excited to play it. I think it's going to be a good time, but I am excited to see the music, because music's important. Sound is important. Music is important in games. So I just think that's a nice step that they've taken, and I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, so. VR Skater, man, I was just vibing the whole time. Like, I didn't want to end the game because I didn't want the track to restart or go back to something else. And I'm like, no, like, come on.
Right.
So good, though, Yep. I know.
Sure.
Yep. We're getting good stuff, though. We haven't had any big art. The only big artists we really get come into VR have been Linkin Park did some early music video stuff, which was super cool. If you guys have never seen that goes way back, probably 16. And what we get it in Beat Saber. We get some artists coming to Beat Saber, but
Beat Saber's the main.
Cash is there, so
yeah. Have you played the Against demo yet, Eric?
Yes. Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Yeah,
I like it. I think it's a little mix of everything we've seen.
Yeah.
I like the boss fight. That was fun-ish. It's different. It takes all. You can tell it's an amalgamation of a bunch of rhythm games. So I don't think there's anything super unique here, but it takes all the best, puts them together, and it works.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Say what you want about what it is, but it works.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love the art style, the black and white, New York streets, the gangster kind of look, with the cars. And I really liked the fact that they did like the wall running and the jumping and stuff. And I'm really curious if anybody's tried the demo, because it is on Steam, if you've had any issues with motion sickness.
Me too. That's what I wondered.
Yeah, like we talked about that a little bit, me and Tyler. And like, because, I mean, obviously you're running up on a wall. The jumping is pretty high in a couple areas, but you're swinging your arms when you do it. So hopefully that movement will kind of eliminate a little bit of that motion sickness. But we don't know, because, I mean, I'm assuming you don't either, Eric. I'm sure you don't probably have motion sickness nowadays either. I mean, anybody that's been playing VR as long as all of us have, don't really have any issues with that. So it's hard to tell, it's hard for us to play a game and be like, oh man, people are going to have issues with this, because we don't ever have any. So I am really curious just to see if that helps solve some of the motion sickness stuff. So please let me know.
I think your chat though nailed it though. The only critique I had of your chat was spot on. It was music.
Yeah. And I've talked to the development team. This was their first song, and they've been working really hard with a lot of artists and stuff, trying to lock down all the music and stuff for this. And that's one of the hardest parts, really, because to get good music, it's not cheap. It costs a lot of money a lot of times to get, especially if you want to get big name artists. That's really crazy. But even for talented music people, it can be hard to get probably for some of these kind of games. And Beat Saber got lucky because they were very good at writing music. So their music that they came out with in that game was probably part of the reason why that game had so much success, other than the modding and stuff. But like $100 bills, and there was a lot of catcy tunes in that.
I don't think you need to get big name artists. When I first played Pistol Whip, I didn't know any of them. So I loved it. It was great, but to me they were nobodies because I don't know them, and then I loved their music. So, but they could have spent money on any nobody to me, and I just would have either liked it or not liked the music.
Sure, it's just a fit. Does the music fit the game?
Yeah, exactly.
What it looked, the image, my thing is music. Yes, it has to be good, but I would rather have something that I can stream and not take a hit for with copyright and stuff.
Yeah,
than
even
have
this
something
has
that's
copyright.
big name.
Yeah, even this has a copyright.
And that's my point.
And I talked to them about that too.
100%.
And they're working on it, so hopefully.
And I know they are, but not with all games, because how can you show what you're doing and show in VR, and do live like this, and not be able to show it off? Like that's.
You want to show it off.
You do, and it's good advertisement for them too.
You're doing it. Yeah, you're living it.
You get big name streamers.
Like CrossFit. If you do, you want to talk about it.
Right.
Exactly. Right. You're going to take a picture of you flipping that freaking tire, aren't you? Like,
right. Oh man, yeah. So I think I agree though. I hope they lock it down with some good music. That's going to be probably a make or break situation with this game, because the stuff they've done so far, and they keep talking about how this is still just beta. This is early on still. I think this game has great potential because I had a blast playing it. It's a good workout. It's fun. But yeah, I hope for some really good music. And this is the only song they have so far. The only one map that is playable right now. So.
The coolest thing that I could think of when they were doing this is, wouldn't it be super cool to be in like a car for the moving part? Be actually on a car, like standing on it. Like, there's so many cool things you can do with this movement mechanic that I think could be just epic. But
I agree.
And I
There's
think
so much cool stuff
they do.
Yeah.
They really need to push it for sure.
Kid Collector Comics. He said yo with with $1.99 super chat.
Cheers, man.
Thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate that.
This developer's really starting to make a good library too. They understand. I think they are. I don't know I haven't looked into their company, but I got a feeling they've been into mobile gaming on phones for a while, because they seem to understand a good feedback cycle, a good reward system that keeps you hooked. And that's honestly what you need right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure of their history either, but I would agree.
I don't know. They had another name at one time before, and they did do a changeover, and it was a VR then, but I'm not sure before that though. And but honest, Stride to me though is amazing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Stride's great.
I love that. I love the mechanics of it. I love that it's tough to learn. I hate games that are almost easy to do, because you need to have a skill to get that reward from it. You need to have a boundary that you have to cross to be able to perfect it.
And that's how VR Skater is. Like, that's not an easy pick up and play game. That takes some practice.
It's easy to pick up and roll down the hill, but
but not land tricks and all that stuff. Right, and somebody asked in our Discord if they were going to have vert ramps. I think it was Wolveraz asked if they were going to have vert ramps in VR Skater. I was like, I haven't seen any of that in there, but that would be pretty cool if they did. And I don't know that they have any plans for that, but I think that would be.
I think they could do it.
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah.
Really
cool. You ever played Jet Island? They have giant vert ramps in that game. It's a lot different, but still.
Yeah. True that. Couple codes.
Go back to that hover.
Oh, Dread Eye.
Yeah, this is from Jham. Jham sent this over. So, and I actually forgot to enter in those one codes from that thing that I will talk about. But there's a Dread Eye on Steam. Right. And I did want to talk about real quick, Real VR Fishing. This is one of my favorite games. I absolutely love this game. It's such a gorgeous game. And they're coming out with an update. And this is going to be a 2-part update. And the first update is going to be a fishing update, basically, like a way you fish, a more realistic way to fish in the game. And it's, let me see here.
Beautiful.
Great multiplayer game, too.
Oh,
really good.
So So float fishing and lure fishing are the two things they're doing. And basically what that is going to be is a more realistic way of actually fishing. Because right now, you throw your lure out there and you kind of reel it in, and there's not, the techniques that you use in fishing aren't really there. The environments are super realistic. Everything looks amazing. It's a super fun game. I like the way you fish now, but if you're a hardcore fisherman, you might like a little bit more realistic way to actually lure in the fish, so that's going to be part of the first update. The second update is going to be the locations, which this is one of my favorite parts of the game. And one of the most favorite things I liked about playing it was unlocking the next location, because I could not wait to see what the next location was going to be. And they're absolutely gorgeous. I mean, these are real life locations, and the ones that are coming are Two Medicine Lake in Montana, Navajo Bridge in Arizona, and Maroon Lake in Colorado. So you can see in this video a little clip. I'm super excited. Trey VR, waiting for a rendered reality game. Oh, me too. Me too.
Right.
Get on that, Tyler.
If I had more time, I would try. But
yeah, that would be awesome for sure. We've had some coffee mugs and stuff in VR games. We've had some coffee mugs, and we do have a level in Space Slurpees where you're inside the studio here, stuck down inside of a coffee mug. That's pretty cool. So, no official rendered reality game though. But
not yet. No, I don't even know what it would entail. We would have to have way too many. We have way too many hobbies to put into
barbershop.
A game. I don't even know.
VR
right?
barbershop.
VR barbershop.
As long as I can make somebody bleed when I'm cutting them.
I was gonna say, like the
Sweeney Todd.
You could do like the beer tapper.
Exactly.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd. You could do like the beer tapper, but with coffee, where you got to sit there and keep filling the coffee mugs as they're coming in or something.
No,
we need something super basic. We need something super basic.
Ported mobile game.
Yeah, but here is a code for real VR fishing too, for the Oculus, which, man, I got to tell you, if you haven't played this game yet, it is totally worth picking up. Yeah. They do a lot of updates. It has multiplayer. You can fish with friends. There's saltwater. You can catch sharks. I mean, the game is, it's up there in my top 10 games for sure. I love this game. So I cannot wait to hop back in there and check out these new locations and the new fishing methods, I guess you could call it.
You do love it. Do you have every fish in that freaking game? You probably
my tanks are pretty full. I got a lot. I mean, I have all the levels unlocked, and then I have, my upstairs tank and my downstairs tank. They're decked out.
I'm still mad from the stream we had where my battery died on the Quest 2 when I was reeling in like it was a marlin,
whale.
I don't even. Yeah, a marlin, it's a killer whale.
And it got to the boat and my headset died. We were in with Paradise Decay.
Yeah.
And we were all standing there on boats, and I'm like, oh my, it's right here. And
then, he's like, I got it. And I was like, where'd Tyler go? He's just gone. Like he's gone. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, so that was one of my favorite games. So hopefully somebody got that code. Make sure you check that out. Let us know what you think. It's a good game. So what else you want to get into? What's next?
Oh, I kind of want to get into some SideQuest stuff, man. I mean, SideQuest is just killing it lately, right?
Yes,
they are just knocking it out of the park. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't try stuff at this point. I mean, with the app on top of it now.
Yeah, that just came out this week. So that was the SideQuest app. So you don't even need a PC. You don't even need a PC to side load onto your Quest anymore. And actually somebody asked me, I think it was in Discord or on a comment, they asked with App Lab, with App Lab out, why do I need SideQuest? And really, SideQuest gets everything that comes to App Lab is usually on SideQuest first. And there's a way more stuff on SideQuest than what is available on App Lab. So there's a much bigger library on SideQuest because SideQuest pretty much lets all kinds of stuff on there, where App Lab, still has to go through an approval process. It's not as strict as the actual store, but they still have to go through that process.
I mean, I still go back to this. To me, is like the original VR jams. So the old school competition where developers would make games and huge money involved for the developers if they were ranked the best games. And I would go on there and just download all these games, and that's what this feels like to me. It feels like some crazy website that nobody knows about, and you can go get all these amazing games and experiences that nobody gets to try because they're free.
I mean, you can download custom home environments. There's all kinds of stuff. And
what are you guys playing right now on it?
I haven't actually played anything recently on the SideQuest. I do have, the most recent thing, I can't think of the name of it now, that I actually haven't even played yet, and I just downloaded, and I can't even think of the name of what it is. Oh man, I can't find it.
Not the ship game.
No.
I'll give it here. What you're thinking? I'll give you two recommendations. So obviously, one's Cards and Tankards.
Yeah, that one I have to check out.
if you haven't played Ancient Dungeon either, that is a fantastic
no,
game.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Really?
See, I haven't played any side quest games recently, but we used to all the time, with all the stuff that came to App Lab, that before App Lab was ever even around. Hyperdash is one on the top of my head, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I haven't even messed with the mobile app yet. I downloaded it, but I haven't sideloaded anything from it. And supposedly you can wirelessly sideload too. There's a way to do that.
Yes.
And I haven't done that yet either, but that will be the way I'll probably do it.
Isn't the only issue that if you don't have a PC is the initialization of it, right? But you can do it with an OTG cable, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's like
on the headset. If you have an OTG capable phone, you can plug it in to your phone and initialize it on the headset without ever even owning a PC.
Yeah, you don't need a PC. And I think I was watching Cass and Sherry's video or something like that. That was when it came out, the day it came out, they were running it down. So that's what I was watching. If you are trying to do it, I would recommend looking up one of those videos or something that'll walk you through it pretty easy. And also, not just the stuff that's on there. You can also see the App Lab stuff. So where you can't go to the Oculus app and actually see the App Lab stuff that's available on Oculus without searching for it or getting a link, they will show you it on SideQuest as well. So that's another great feature. So
it's right on the home screen too. I was just gonna try and find it real quick, but
I mean, an App Lab is nice though because I'm lazy a lot of times and I just want to be able to click a button and it downloads and I'm done. So I mean, I can understand that. So there is still a little bit more friction than App Lab, and I can be lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It's all about time, man. It's about the time it takes. Like if it takes me 20 minutes to plug it into a PC, download it, transfer it, I'm missing out on 20 minutes of playtime. And my time is valuable that I get to play. I mean,
if it's on SideQuest or App Lab, I'm going to download it on App Lab because it's easier. That's the problem. But
it depends on whatever you're about to play, whatever that reward is, it needs to be worth the setup. So like the people who go into Neos VR chat with like Bradley going in with trackers all over the place, everything. That's an ordeal to set up, but the value is so high to them, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yep. We've always talked about that. It's the entry time and how much effort it takes to get in there. But yeah, I mean, if you want to put the full haptic suit on and cyber shoes and go through everything and the hour it takes to put it on and you enjoy it, do it, man. Like to each his own. Everyone's different.
Yep. I agree. So I'm going to try to get these codes in here. Let me see if I can. I'm going to send these to you. I'm going to try to get them here. So basically what this is right now there is this thing called LabSurpriseMe.me. Have you guys seen this article? And essentially what it is there's 19 VR games and you get 3 of them for 70% off. But the trick is you don't know what 3 they are. And so that gives you 3 eggs and you can, if you don't like the surprise, then you can click on an egg. And each egg that you click takes part of your discount away once you find out what it is, which is kind of cool. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I did it and I bought 3 App Lab games. I didn't know what they were going to be. Just to try it out, and then I'm going to load them in here and give them away to you guys. So I thought this was pretty cool, though. It's 70% off. So it was I think it was $28 worth of games that I got for $8 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored and just looking for something to play, why not, I guess, right? I mean, you're not guaranteed you're going to like it, but it's something to do.
Yeah.
Does the gamble of it actually add more value to it? It's almost like that sunk cost you already paid for. Now let's see what this is.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of excited to find out what I got. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty cool. I even went back in and clicked the buttons to see what games they were after I bought one because I wasn't going to buy it again. You know what I mean? But it was pretty cool. It's kind of a cool system. So here you go. These are the 3 that I got. Oh, Eric might have to let me move this up here.
No, they can guess.
Okay, yeah. So the 3 I got.
Now it's a game.
Yeah. So
exactly.
right. That'll work.
I can have one.
So I almost forgot to add this in here. Luckily, I could still do it. So the 3 that I got are Pico Pico, Deism, and Quest for Runia. And I don't think I've even heard of 2 of them. I didn't know of 2 of them. But Pico Pico is a 3D jigsaw puzzle game. Deism is you basically create your own world from scratch and you get to have the experience of being like a godlike figure. Quest for Runia is you solve magical puzzles. So it's kind of like almost like a mobile game inside of VR where you're matching colors and the things disappear. But there you go. So somebody can get those 3 keys. Those are the 3 that I got. I think this thing runs till, what is the date when this is over? I think it's like May 8th or something like that. May 8th.
A good game.
May 8th. Yeah,
You know?
I have never played that one, but I have heard of that one. I've heard people talk about that. People really do like it. So this runs till May 8th. If you want to try this for yourself, labsurpriseme.me. It's kind of cool. I thought it was kind of neat. It's a good idea. It's a 19 games. You get 3, and you can keep doing it. You can do it more than once too. So
There's a lot of ways to get games. I mean, Humble Bundle, they had a ton going on right now for, I
think that's over now. I think that one really good one is over. It was about to end, but
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought this was fun. So, and it was a cool way to just give away some codes because I figured that'd be fun. So, yeah.
Codes are always good, man.
For sure. So I also wanted to mention too, just real quick, that there is a 60 hertz hand tracking update coming to the Quest 2, which I'm pretty excited about because I've played around with some hand tracking stuff. I really like Hand Physics Lab. That's, I think, an awesome game for hand tracking. That was something that was on SideQuest that I played on SideQuest way before it came out on the official store. And
which they just updated their hand tracking inside of that as well.
They're doing some real, I mean, they're always doing some crazy stuff.
So much better right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're like on the bleeding edge of the hand tracking stuff. Like, I don't feel like anybody else is doing some of the stuff that they're doing. Yeah. Awesome development team, really. But this update is going from 30 hertz to 60 hertz. So this should increase quality a little bit. So it says Facebook claims the mode improves controller-free hand tracking quality as well as reducing its end-to-end latency by 10%. It's an internal Strike Team VR app dev group enabled the new mode in Tiny Castles demo and reported the following results. We observed the high-frequency hand tracking results in a slight reduction in perceived latency, but also significantly improved tracking quality during fast hand movements. There were no perceived changes regarding judder or occlusion. So it's not perfect still, but this update should increase the quality, because it was never perfect. It was always kind of glitchy, and there was some latency issues and all of that. So I mean, they're continually improving, so that's good.
Hand tracking's always been my number one value add to the Oculus Quest. Every time that gets there's something so freeing about it. Like, I'll be playing a game and you put down, probably watching Netflix, the Netflix app they have, and you put your controllers down for 1 second, and there is nothing more. It's almost like trying to drink from a straw where you don't know the straw is and you just look like an idiot trying to find it. It takes you completely out of it's horrible, but the hand tracking is just so beautifully perfect on an immersive experience.
Yeah, something like that, it's great. I mean, like you said, it doesn't compare to having to use controllers.
My favorite part is where I keep my controllers isn't where I charge my headset. So every time I go to put it on to like either do an update, I can always use my hands to select things. I don't have to go get the controllers. Just simple things like that. Just game changers.
Yeah, I agree.
It really is.
I agree.
I don't think it's great in game. I think it's useless in games. But I think browsing menus and stuff, I think it's amazing. No, I mean like competitive games, like the games like hand physics lab, awesome, because you get to do things with your hands. But like to sit there and say we're going to play Population 1 with hand tracking,
pew pew
probably,
pew pew pew.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would.
Now I could play some Rock Band. I could definitely play some Rock Band with some air guitar action.
That'd be
totally
cool.
Down, man. Oh,
there is some of that with controllers. I don't think there's any of that with hand tracking yet. But
not yet.
Talking about mobile apps, though, have you got a chance to try the DecaMove, Eric?
Yeah. Yep. I have that.
What do you think of that?
It works flawlessly. I'll tell you that.
It's great, isn't it? I mean, it was like that item that I never knew I needed until I had it, and then I was like, wow, this is incredible. Well, they now have a mobile app that is free, so you can actually now download the mobile app, and we'll have to add that link in the description. I don't think
it's in the description. Okay,
cool.
I put it in there.
Yeah, so that is free to download, and you can still pre-order the actual DecaMove. I don't know where mine is. It's in here.
So you do, though, just to be aware, you have to create an account with them before that link will actually work, but you can find it on their page after you create an account.
I haven't had a chance to try that mobile app yet, but I know the people in our Discord, some people were talking about it, and they said it was great. So, I think it's awesome.
It's kind of, I mean, this is a backhanded compliment, but I don't mean it that way. I just think, just like we talked about before this happened, it's like I've never streamed VR without having at least one tech issue. Tech issues in VR just kind of go hand in hand. You figure it out. But every VR accessory that I've ever used, a lot of times there's hiccups, and the DecaMove was the first actual accessory that I didn't have a problem.
Yeah, me too.
This is what they said it would do. I'd follow the directions. It worked.
Yeah.
That's very setting the bar low. but you crush that. After that, it's nothing but greatness.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't have to call Tyler when I was trying to set this up, because that's how easy it is. Yeah.
Call and I'm like, oh,
like,
gosh,
dude, what am I doing wrong? This is not working. And it tells me to do this. I did this. It doesn't work. Like, and the DecaMove wasn't like that at all. I mean, it was like Eric said, it was super easy to set up. It works great. I am going to try the mobile app as well. For me, I think I prefer having the actual device that I can keep separate from my phone. I can charge it separate. I can just clip it on my belt.
But do you for $60?
I know, that's what I mean. Like,
it's for the price when it's free.
Yeah, it's so hard because it's free for the app. Like, I mean, it's like, man, how do you pick? I mean, this is like $50-$60 or free on your phone app. You know, it's like, man, for most people, I just have to imagine they're going to go for the phone app, which I can't blame them. I think that's, probably a good option. But I mean, I think it's cool that they're doing that. It's cool that they're putting that out there for people to download for free. I think that's a good move. I think other people are going to do it too. I know there's other companies that have been working on this and have prototypes as well from a phone app. So them being the first one, as far as I know, that's readily available to the phone app is going to help them out too, I think. So I think that's cool.
They've created a tremendous amount of goodwill too for believing in the company itself. I think that if anything the DecaMove did for them was prove that they are legit, and or at least they have the right. Yeah, it's not a cash grab. They have the right frame of mind, and they prove that they can at least make software and marginally hardware, but software more than hardware.
Absolutely,
that works. Yeah,
absolutely. I totally agree.
100%
agree. I had about 10% faith in DecaMove company until I tried the DecaMove. And then I was like, all right, like, hey, proof of concept. It's not a headset yet, but
we're so accustomed to like these bigger entities kind of unfortunately failing sometimes that you almost don't give the benefit to someone new coming in. But they are from aren't they Mega Dodo Games? Like that's actually a pretty big company. They just didn't make that clear.
Yeah, yeah. I have never heard of them before they started talking about the Deca gear. At least I don't believe. If I did, I didn't know who they were. And
you can get better things out of those companies because they have no fear. I mean, they need to make a name for themselves. They need to put out something epic instead of just sticking with the mainstream stuff. So
I'm excited.
You can always get great things coming out of it. Yeah, I remember one of the drones I had was a 3DR drone. Company went completely under because nobody bought it. DJI, everyone was buying DJI stuff, but they had the best movement system for their drone and their cameras and stuff. It was unbelievable, but nobody bought it. It's crazy. That's how it goes.
I think we forgot to mention we do have a Gleam giveaway going on for Star Wars Pinball. Should be in the description, I think, or Twitter or something somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere on our Discord. Join all that stuff. I think that'll end on Sunday. So
I do want to get into some of your stuff, Eric.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We'll do Zenith. We'll do Zenith towards the end.
Sure. I just what you're doing, and you're really trying to bring awareness, and I'm not going to speak for you. I'll let you speak here too.
Right, go ahead.
Just awareness to the struggles that VR specifically even is having, and VR and XR and AR are having and are going to have in the coming future, right? And we've talked about on our show a ton. Who my nephew, is autistic, and one of the best experiences I think I ever have. Was and I don't know which it was on. It might have been on a Note or Gear VR, was an autism app. And it showed you what it would be like to see through the eyes of somebody who is autistic. And it's amazing what VR can do for things like that. And there are these organizations and these places and education, and they do need help because it's small right now, right? I mean, there's not big funding in it because VR is still that fuzzy area where, nobody's willing to invest into or scared to. I'll let you say a couple things.
Give us a breakdown. Give us a breakdown of what's going on.
Where do we start, guys? Start me off somewhere. That's a hard question to go with.
So your channel, man. Your channel's been awesome. You have a crap ton of subscribers. You put out super good content.
You're changing things up. You're changing things up.
Give us where you're going.
Give us the breakdown of what the roadmap is looking like.
I think the roadmap for constant changes has to do quite a bit with work and, of course, having a child. That's going to do a lot.
Absolutely.
But putting aside the time, it's it's hard to explain. It's kind of like the first. Okay, I'm a big anime fan, right? And from like the time I started watching it. It's that, especially anything like Sword Art Online. I know everyone hates to love that, but it makes you see this possibilities. Dot Hack Sign, all these things that I was watching, Ghost in the Shell, and it's like, wow, there's this other world, a lot of possibilities. And when I started playing VR, that's what I liked, and I still like that. But what I was doing, it's the roadmap. but I don't always want to just do the roadmap. I'm trying to see what's the extra stuff that we can do. And that VR for good, like that, the autism experience you brought up, that's fantastic. And there's other experiences just like that are like the Anne Frank house, things like that, I think there's Living, I don't know, I don't want to mispronounce the name, but it's like Living Black or something like that.
It is. Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
Of the name of it either.
Yeah, like there's really good apps like that do great. But then I think when you say VR for good, it also gets a little murky because people expect things like that. But VR chat can be that to somebody. It's great for mental health. The museums of other reality can be like that for somebody. There's tons of apps that explore things, and I think there's a bunch of content creators who are making baller ass stuff, really creative. Crazy, there are some contenders like making some baller content, making amazing future thinking type stuff, but they don't get the traffic. And that's super unfortunate because there are some people who are so forward, future thinking, making crazy things that no one's ever heard of. And it kind of bums me out. And I look at what I got lack of time, lack of care. I'm just gonna be honest, lack of care to go over the news because that takes away from all this future stuff you can think about. And I just thought, what am I interested in? And I have tons of DMs I speak with these people on. Privacy and security in VR is something I'm pretty big on. Especially having a kid who, hey, there's VR stuff all around this room.
Grow up.
He's gonna want to play it, and I am super concerned about how I mitigate that because you got traditional stuff. I can mitigate screen time a little bit. There's checks, but no one's checking that in VR yet. There's no method. So these companies working on that, I'm super interested in. I think accessibility options for a lot of people are really important. Education, training, these are what I think about most. So I just wanted to figure out what can I do to help that. I don't have the time or care to devote to make a bunch of money on YouTube, but I do have the ability to make money for other people, and that's where I ultimately went.
And have a voice that reaches. You know what I mean? And that's the best thing. For most of it, it's just being aware. And I don't think a lot of people, even people, I've talked to plenty of people, they don't realize Facebook tracks everything you do. They don't realize they know everything about you.
I mean,
I'm like, you use
Google
this thing
does,
every day. How do you not know? Yeah, exactly.
And to navigate that minefield, like, I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy on that. Like,
that's crazy too.
I know they're taking the info, but I don't know how it's used. How is it used bad?
How
is it used?
We're not really told.
I have no idea. But I take that as good and bad, but like, I still want to see, well, who's working on finding ways to protect me? They might be wrong. Maybe I don't need protecting, but I still want to see who these people who are talking about those conversations, like Kent Bai talks about those all the time. I think he's a tremendous force in nature, and to try to think of these things well before we have to talk about them.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we've talked about it plenty of times on our show that we feel like there needs to be some type of like government panel or organization or board or group of people even that go and present these things that have a voice, because government, even in general, they're not aware. They don't know what goes on. They're not ahead of technology.
Yeah, technology is always ahead.
That's the problem, right? Is they're not there and they don't know. So when you have those people that are in the know and do experience it and do know, that's who you should be asking. But and that's the problem. But
I think like a big thing is we're all thinking of it in terms of gaming because that's what's big now. But then everyone says Ready Player One. Watch the movie, read the book. Gaming is an extreme small part of anything they do in that movie. It's not gaming. It's literally they're living there. So now we have to take all the problems that we have in real life and possibly tenfold them because anything can happen. So you need to talk about it. It's not gaming is just the means to get people into a headset right now, but it is not going to be the end goal.
Yeah, Oculus is already working on, working from inside VR, with the updates with the keyboards and, all that stuff. I mean, eventually a lot more of people's lives are probably going to be involved in VR, kind of like a Ready Player One situation. We're not there yet, obviously, but I mean, even for us, we spend a lot of time in VR, and there's people that spend way more time than we do in VR, that have more free time. But so basically, your channel, you're turning towards a charity focus for the channel instead of So and one of the first ways is an upcoming debate, right?
Yes.
So can you break that down for us?
So the structure of these, they're going to start on Sunday. So we have the charity stream. It's going to be between Ryan Engel. He's from ProPut VR. I think most people know him. And Six, if you don't follow anything Facebook related, you have to know who he is. Very
and they're both
big
on Twitter. They're both on Twitter.
Both on
too.
Twitter.
I follow
Yes.
Twitter. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Six is the creator of Your Fit, aka now Oculus Move.
Right.
But not,
right.
But not
And
your. Yeah.
They've gone at it before, right?
Yes, they've gone at it numerous times. And
so this should be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that Six is definitely more on the spectrum of obviously anti-Oculus and Facebook, and Ryan is probably more on the side of okay with Facebook. Right. But I'll get into it's not a debate just about Facebook, but those are two different personalities that I think have a lot to say that I wanted on it. And then the first charity that we're going to be raising money for is XRSI, which goes back to one of my main concerns. They develop, or they're working on developing practices for safety, privacy for XR related products. So that was a big thing that I wanted to do. But the way we're going to structure it is starting Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday leading up to it. There's a video every day. We'll be doing video on the charity so everyone can learn a little bit more about them.
Oh, cool.
We'll be doing two videos one video on Six, one on Ryan. That way everyone can learn about them rather than going into a stream unaware. And they're small, quick videos, just highlight decks.
Yeah.
And then I will be having a video dedicated to the sponsors of the video. And we found tremendous ads with finding ways to get sponsors involved where they're going to donate directly to XRSI. And for that, I'm going to go to work and do a crap load of work to get their name out there, but all in the sense of getting to charity. And the way we did it too is we wanted it to be available. So if anyone's listening who develops anything XR or wants a voice, the way we do it is they can donate $1, they could donate 1,000. I don't care. Whatever dollar amount you choose, everyone's treated the same. That way everyone's put on the same pedestal, and we don't tell how much each individual raises as well, because that just creates it's a bad atmosphere. It's not about how much you raise, it's about you put your name in the hat.
Never. You shouldn't have to tell anybody what you do behind the scenes. You know what I mean? You should.
Exactly. No, everyone. It's all about the goal is to get awareness and to raise money.
Yep.
And if you're part of that, you get treated the same. Awesome. And then Thursday we'll go into, of course, the debate. And the way we're focusing on those is it's sort of presidential style, hence the channel name. We'll have nice, fun production screens. I'm spending about a good 2 weeks making as fun of a stream deck as I can. But we'll basically be I will be making up my own questions. I've followed Six and Ryan for a long time, so I've seen some of their more heated times. I know where they stand on a lot, and there's deeper questions that I want to know that range from, of course, we're going to have to talk about Facebook, good or bad. That's just going to have to happen. But both of them are very heavily interested in the future of VR. And they both have different thoughts on privacy concerns, what it's going to be used for, things like that. Competition, different types of headsets. They're very adamant on a lot of their beliefs. So we will touch on Facebook, but that is not going to be everything. But basically, I'm going to be asking one individual directly a question. They will have 2 minutes to uninterrupted give me their opinion.
That's cool.
Then the floor opens up to both of them, and I'm leaving it it will be moderated in case it gets out of control, but pretty much hands off for 5 minutes max. 5-minute cutoff, automatically moving on to the next question to keep it rolling.
That's cool.
It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a huge learning experience on how to do it all. And we already have, I won't give their names out yet because I want to fine tune it, but we already have our second charity stream people lined up, and there are two huge pillars of the VR community that I think people will like to hear. That one will focus more on influencer culture versus another person who is fairly anti-influencer culture.
I already know who this is. I'm pretty sure I already know who this is.
You probably got 2 or 3 names in your head. But yeah, we're going to be trying to. I made a video talking about this on where the channel is going. I do want to clarify one thing. I said the channel is going non-profit. That is technically true, but I need to be very careful of using that word legally. So the way we're going to be doing it is there's going to be a Tiffy donation link in the stream and on every single video that gets led up to the stream, and the stream will be clipped and spread out through the next week. And the Tiffy link will be on all those so people can donate directly to the organization. I'm trying to keep my name out of that because for tax and legal reasons. Right. And then once I get the ad revenue, we'll take out taxes from those, and I will do a personal donation to the rest to the charity. So basically, for example, the first 2 weeks, we'll tabulate all that money at the end of the month. It goes to XRSI. But for the next charity, all that goes to, of course, them. But I do want to just clarify, don't say nonprofit because I get in a lot of trouble for that legally.
No profit.
Yeah.
You can say no profit.
I am not making
profit.
money.
You can't say nonprofit.
So let me ask a couple questions here. So my first question is this is going to be on your channel, right? Eric for President.
Yes.
This is all going down on your channel. Okay. And then to donate, there is links to his channel.
Links
I'm sure you probably all
Do not
follow
donate
him.
to me. Do not donate to me.
Right.
Just subscribe, watch, and donate to the foundation.
Right. But the way to donate is all going to be linked in the videos, in the description of the live stream and all of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
It'll be very clear on the screen. I don't even want
Awesome.
even want super chats or anything like that. Please don't send it to me. For one, that just creates tax nightmares. But two, YouTube then takes a cut.
Yeah, they take like 30 or 40%, I think. YouTube.
Yeah, they're basically taking part of your donation, and then taxes come out of that too. So if you donate $5, it's really like $1 going to charity. But the Tiffy link that will have 100% all going to them.
Awesome.
So it's a better way of doing it.
Are you planning on doing this like a monthly kind of thing, like each month a new debate, or is it going to be spread out a little bit more than that, or do you have plans of frequency so far?
The goal, which I think is very obtainable, because once I get everything set up for the first one, it'll start going a little quicker.
Yeah, right.
But I'd like to do them bi-weekly. So two a month. Goal, obviously, awareness is the #1 goal. So whatever money you raise, like you raise some money for any organization, charitable organization, they're appreciated. But the name getting out there is worth their weight in gold to them, because a one-time donation versus possibly someone who's willing to donate their time, money, or whatever forever for the rest of their life, because some people really love that, is worth so much more. So #1 goal, get the name out. But #2, my personal low-end goal is I'd like $50,000 minimum in the first year of doing this to XR-related charities. And I can say we're looking really good on track, because sponsors alone this first stream, putting aside any ad revenue or anyone who donates, we're already above $1,000 for this one.
Awesome.
So we're really looking good on meeting that goal and exceeding that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this is next week, right?
This will be Thursday, May 6th, at 6:30 p.m. We'll experiment with time frames, but right now I'm kind of working around that, and for some reason I just don't want to do a weekend. I always find traffic. People have a lot going on, and I find that Wednesday, Thursdays seem to. So it sucks that UK time frame. I'm going to try to go a little earlier one day for them, but
time frames are a pain in the butt. From East Coast to West Coast to different countries, it always complicates things for doing this kind of stuff. For sure, it always makes it a lot more difficult. But I think this sounds awesome. Like, I'm excited to see the debate. I'm excited to hear them go head to head and see the conversation and the topics that they get into. Also excited for the next one that I think I know who it might be. I'm excited for that one too. That one's going to be interesting.
Give me your guess. I'm not going to confirm.
I'll tell you in private. I'll tell you in private. I'll message you on Twitter or something to tell you who I think it is.
Be wrong.
But no, I don't mind being wrong. But I just don't want to throw two people out there that maybe it isn't.
True.
I think the one thing I'm pretty excited about, and this isn't a rag on anyone, but one thing that I've been in Clubhouse discussions when stuff like this gets brought up, whether it's Facebook. I've seen some podcasts that talk about it, but a lot of times I feel like when you have two people on with very polar views on different things, the conversations become unmoderated very quick. They devolve to a degree. Nothing crazy. Everyone's I find everyone in the VR community very respectful.
Yeah, for sure.
But I find that if you have someone watching a conversation, it's really important that you get opposing points of view, but it's more important that you actually value their time. So, for example, I've listened to some podcasts, not VR related, that they just ramble and it just goes on, and you lose, you muddy the water of the point in the person's time, and they end up not listening. But if we can find a controlled environment, 2 minutes for the person who get to speak their mind, and not both people will not get the same question. So it's a targeted question to that person, and the other person can say, then a 5-minute kind of amalgamation of what they want to say, and we're cutting and we're moving right on, because we have a lot to cover. We want to value people's times, and we really want to bring as much of a view. And ultimately, and both the participants have been coached on this, because I wanted to make it extremely clear, especially to some of the more competitive people like Six that that are in that this debate is not. There's no winner. There's not going to be a winner. I am not. I am not fact checking. I'm not trying to cause stirs. I'm not going to be fact checking during this. The chat can do that. I'm not going to be declaring a winner. The winner is raising awareness for charity, and for the chat to hear maybe a point of view they haven't heard and think about it. But it's really meant to provide a lot of different ideas on a lot of different subjects in a very concrete way, while of course building awareness and money for charity.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say your best tool will probably be the mute button. Because if they get out of control
Yeah,
or
you can
run
just shut
over
them
on
down.
time, just silence them. Be like, okay, you're now
And,
muted.
I got your DM. Yes to one of those.
There you go.
Okay, so one of them was right, not
One
the
of
other.
them was
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So somebody did ask if the stream just buffered for anyone else. Hopefully our internet issues aren't kicking in now, but if it does, yeah, hopefully we're okay. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sounds awesome. So we will definitely keep everybody up to date as well as we can too, you know, when these are going on, and try to help share some things as well as other people. You know, it definitely helps spread the awareness for everybody to share, you know, if Twitter retweets or, you know, whatever it may be. So, I mean, it's for a good cause. So definitely we can all try to help out. So.
And honestly, I one more on that. Seriously, if anyone is creating, if you know of anyone creating XR related products or trying to get the word out, like I have a DM box full of people want in, and I'm really trying to get like 8 to 10 because I'm making videos individually for each sponsor. Like I want to give them a true plug during the stream, but I have made it a point to contact some of the larger ones. But I make it a point that I don't care how small you are. You could have just a fledgling idea of a product. I do not care if you donate $1 to that charity and want to be part of it. Your voice is worth just as much as someone else's. It's very important that I make that a priority, and I want everyone to know, because I get a lot of people in DMs who are really scared the message. They're like, hey, I know I'm small. Don't worry about it. If you got $10, the donate $1, I don't care. Right. Your idea, just because you're small compared to a big company like Facebook, is worth just as much as them. There is somebody out there right now in the middle of the country who doesn't have internet access, doesn't have much, who could be a genius. He just never had the opportunity to put his voice out there.
That's true.
You might be that person. Let's give you the opportunity.
Yeah. Everything stems from one idea.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to this. I know I will be catching this live stream this coming week. I definitely am interested to see. And definitely we will be making a donation as well once we
absolutely.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
That happens for sure.
Trust me. We literally just try and turn so much around. I mean, from giveaways to everything, because we tell people stop super chatting, go buy a game, go do something for yourself, don't give it to us. We would be here BSing anyways, you know what I mean? We don't need to, you don't need to do anything for us. We're here just
we always did this anyways. This is what we would do every Saturday morning, even though it's Thursday. We didn't usually do it on Thursday night, but but so is there anything else you wanted to mention on that before we jump into a little bit of Zenith content?
No, man, I think I've talked enough about myself that I'm really excited to hear what you guys say about Zenith.
Yeah, I'm excited for the stream. Make sure you check that out. His link is in the description. Eric for President is going to be on his channel. I'm sure we will be in chat as well come Thursday, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
His Twitter and Instagram are also down there if you guys want to grab those too, just to keep up to date.
Keep up to date. Keep up to date. So I was lucky enough to jump into Zenith. This is my Zenith footage. I want to put this out there from the start. This is still early beta. This is not a final build, or they're still working out bugs. They're still working on things. I went into this with one of the people on the team the first time. So he kind of walked me through how the game worked, things you could do. And I was still learning. Even after getting off with him, there were still questions I had and trying to figure out things. But when you go in, you have two classes right now. You basically have a sword class and a mage class. And I have to imagine they're going to get more classes as it comes. Sure. And the map is really big. You can see the map right here. It's a very big space. So we're in that little tiny area when you start out. And the map is ever growing. They're still continuing to perfect it. There's lots of different landscape. You won't see most of that in this video. This is just kind of a short video. One thing I really liked is that you can fly and climb, very similar to Population 1. So my bad habit of jumping off things and sticking my arms out and not being able to fly in a lot of games, it worked in this. So first time I did it, I was like, oh, that feels so awesome, because that's what I'm getting used to doing when I jump off of things. So the flight is there, the climb is there. It feels pretty good. Feels pretty similar to Population 1. When you go in, there's lots of things you can do. There's little side quests. There's treasure chests you can hunt down. This is Amika that they call her. And this is where you get some of your missions, I guess you could call them. And the first one was to kill 10 of these guys out here, and then you go back, real basic mission to start out with. I think I was playing with the mage here, and you'll see some of the combat going on in here. And this is going to be a massively multiplayer online game. So I'm not a huge MMO guy. That's not usually my bread and butter of the kind of games, especially in VR. We don't have that many of them really, but this is a pretty cool experience, and it is still early. There's, some complaints that I have, some things that I really like. Some of the combat right now, my biggest complaint right now is that the hit boxes are really weird. So when one of the enemies hits you, even though you're not close to them at all, you still take damage, and you'll see this. Like, I'm way far away, and I still got hit. So that is something that I definitely have to imagine is going to be addressed, as this game progresses forward. It's a pretty big undertaking that they're taking to build any kind of MMO, like this is a big undertaking to do. So they have a pretty good base there right now. They're still, constantly improving it. I don't know. Has this game supposed to be out this year? I can't remember. I think.
No, I don't
know. I don't know if they've given a date. Yeah, I don't remember if they've given a date
this year.
I can't remember what they said. I know I asked him, but I can't remember. But we were allowed to play this week and talk about it and show this. They gave access to a number of people. So you've probably seen some streams of some other people playing it and stuff. And I think it's got a good start. I think it's still got a little ways to go, but I think that it could be a pretty big one.
The AI needs some work
for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
But
I don't think combat's ever been a big part of, or excuse me, that's the wrong word. Combat has never been the best part of an MMO.
Yeah.
No, it's all mostly turn-based. Turn-based stuff for
and that multiplayer aspect. I think it'll be a lot more fun too once this world's full. Once I go in here and I meet a whole bunch of other people in here, that's going to be the really cool experience. You know what I mean? That's what I look forward to. But
I'd like to see, like, I have this thought that sometimes with MMOs is that I wonder, yes, the MMOs are awesome, but do we want one in VR right now because of nostalgia or because we're ready for one? I'm proud of Zenith for taking the route they're going right now with this. I think this looks fantastic.
Right, the map and everything.
The world is really
I'm wondering, like, do the mechanics of MMOs transition well to VR right now? Like, is it comfortable enough to be in a headset to grind mobs?
Yeah, you're gonna. That's one reason I don't know that I could ever really get too much into an MMO is because the time dedication. We play a lot of games because we try to keep up to date with games that are coming out, and we have our go-to games that we love to play together, and so it's hard to dedicate the time all the time necessarily. But I think that the real experience is going to come once these worlds are full, and the people that do spend the time in these games, you build your guilds and all of that stuff, and there is a lot in an MMO.
Did shoot a pineapple at you?
Yeah, that was kind of weird, right?
There's some odd things, like you have pineapples and chips and
there's some weird things. And I think it's
but they could just be textures for.
Well, I think some of it is their humor. Some of it is just them trying to be kind of creative and funny, because it is funny to see a pineapple come flying at you. It's funny. But I don't know that any of that stuff is really permanent either. I think a lot of this stuff could change by the time a final build comes out, but. It was cool to get to see the base of what there is, and there's tons of upgrades. You can find these secret chests, and those give you money, or they give you upgrades. You can buy upgrades, you can sell upgrades and stuff like that. So you can get different weapons and armor and look, and I'm sure there's going to be more customizations coming too. I'm sure, like right now, there was just certain areas I needed to try to go to explore those areas. There was the little statues, like you saw in the beginning. I climbed up that thing and I patted a little statue on the head. That was one of the missions, that you had to find these 3 statues. And then one part I just started exploring, and I went down in this like underground thing, which I hadn't gone into with the person from the team that I kind of had an early look with. And I went exploring down there, and there was some pretty crazy stuff down there. But you also have to upgrade your character. So there was certain enemies that I would try to avoid because I just wasn't strong enough to take them on. Like, my weapons and stuff were not powerful enough, and they would kill me pretty quickly. So I had to avoid some of them until you level up. I think this is the first time I played this build. This is actually the PC VR build, but the Quest build I played as well, and it looks very similar. The LODs sometimes, don't load in as quick and stuff like that. But for the most part, the Quest build looked really good too, and very similar to this. But yeah, I think for people that love MMOs, I'm going to be curious to see what people think of this once it comes out and they get to play it. You wanted to say something.
I did a live stream with the developers when this was first announced. I really liked them. I thought they had a lot of really good answers. A lot of my concerns of how, does the MMO standard of PC gaming work in VR? Because there's some real problems like grinding. I don't know if they've implemented yet, but I really liked their idea that it'd be a very slow XP boost, but when you're offline, you'd actually slowly get some to mitigate the grind and how headsets are a little uncomfortable over time. Like they're thinking about how do we cater to people who want to be in here all the time, and how do we cater to people who can't. And I thought that was really good.
That's good. That is a good thing to think about. That is something that you have to think about, because like for me, I can't spend 50 hours a week grinding in this game. You know, there's no way.
Yeah.
So
I think to me the best balance is like that mix between like how do I want to say this, like a shooter and an MMO, like Destiny, or something where stuff is still happening and you can jump in at any time. You don't feel like you're behind.
It's smoothing up right now. I think you're coming back right now.
Yeah, it comes back.
It lasted pretty long. We had a good run without it without it dipping out, but hopefully to come back.
No, we're good. We're
you're
we're
back.
fine.
Okay.
Oh, we're good now. Yeah.
So these guys here, I was definitely trying to avoid, because I can't even kill them. I mean, there's so many of them and they're very powerful compared to me. So I was trying to avoid them, kind of exploring this underground tunnel, and I ran into this one pretty big.
You just got a Leroy Jenkins it right there.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a good start. That's it. I mean, I definitely think they have a good start. This is, you can't. I mean, you can't pick apart a beta, an early alpha or anything too hard. Anyways, I've seen games that I thought were never going to make it early on, and once they came out and they were final products, like, holy crap, this isn't even the same game. You know what I mean? So
I mean, look at the early Population 1 stuff. I mean, compared to what it is now, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a reason it was called Population 1.
This guy here out for health and different things. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a really early look.
I think it could be and I think it could be stellar. I really do. I mean, the map and everything looks wise.
And I saw some other parts of the map when I was with one of the people from the team that I wasn't supposed to be in yet. And he was like, well, this part's not done yet. And I was like, man, this looks amazing though. Like, it looked so good, but it wasn't an area that I was supposed to be in yet. But like, you can see that yellow area off to the side there a little bit. They had some areas blocked off. They didn't want you to go, but yeah. So somebody said they had to refresh the page to get the stream back. So sorry about that. Internet issues. Hopefully they should be fixed after next week. I got somebody coming out to hopefully fix that issue. It's not on my end. It's the stupid company. But
it's always ISPs, man. It's horrible. It's not their fault. It's yours. Check your cables. Check your modem.
Yeah, that's what they said. I ran through all that before I even called them. So yeah. Right. So, but yeah, let me know what you think of Zenith. In the comments in the chat and stuff. Is this something that you're been watching out for? Is this something you're going to be picking up? Are you a hardcore MMO fan? Because I know they are out there. And Wolf Raza listed another one, Elysia. That's another one that's coming.
That too. Yeah.
And what was that one that we saw? I don't know. I guess it was kind of an MMO. What was that real
property one?
No, the one that
the cyberpunk looking one.
I mean, it did have some cyberpunk. It was. I'm trying to think. I'm still in their Discord.
Or something.
I had huge hope for this one, because they put out videos. Me and Tyler showed the videos of the stuff they're doing, but it never. They never really got anything out yet. I can't find it. Project Elysium. Yeah,
it was Elysium. I thought so. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know any other one.
Yeah, that one still looks good. I still hope they come through at some point. But yeah, so this is the early look at Zenith. I didn't end up streaming it or anything. If me and Tyler both would have had it and had access and time to play, I think we probably would have streamed together. It's definitely more fun with people. Like, even playing it by myself, I had more fun playing it with the person from the team that I was playing it with. You know what I mean? These games are just more about the interaction and stuff with the people. So that's really where these games are going to shine. So.
Steve Drumheller, which I was actually going to shout out here soon and try and play with him sometime. He said, Eric for president, Sean for vice president, Tyler for secretary of state. Tech. I'm the geek squad, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd vote for you. Thanks for all you do for the community. You guys rock. Cheers, man. Good seeing you.
Thank you.
You're doing good, man.
Super chat. Yeah. That's awesome. Definitely appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, luckily our internet held out for the most of the show. Yeah, it did. Okay.
We should probably hop off here. Yeah, Lo-Fi, somebody said that game's. Oh, that game.
Yeah, I haven't hopped into that lately. I need to download the latest. I need to download the latest.
Blair's great, man. He's such a good dude.
I need to download the latest.
He's a Ruckus fan, so he's a friend in my book.
Oh man, but yeah. So I think that's. I think I do have another code I need to give away though too. Here we go.
Probably. We have way too many codes to give away.
There we go. That's another J-Ham one. Yeah, Swords of Gura. That's another J-Ham that he sent over. So
cheers, man.
Yeah, make sure you. Did we put the code, the link for the Star Wars pinball?
No.
Man, we didn't put that in there. All right, I'm gonna put it in chat. I'm gonna put it in chat.
Put it in chat. Give it to the chat people. That works.
Yeah. So it'll be in our Discord and stuff as well. We'll add it to the show afterwards. There's the link that just popped in there. So yeah. But I think we should probably wrap it up before the internet completely craps out, right?
Right, I know. I can feel it. It's
Tyler's getting nervous. I can see the sweat on his brow. I can see it.
'Cause I'm on the receiving end of it. I see what's happening.
Yeah, everything looks fine to me the whole time. I don't even notice it. So
right, exactly.
But, yeah.
Whatever.
But all right, well, I think that's pretty much thanks to Eric for being on. Definitely catch his stream next week, Thursday, and we will be in there. I'll be catching that for sure. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, having a chat with us. It was definitely fun sitting down and talking with you. We'll definitely have to try to do this again sometime for sure.
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. No good talking to you too.
For sure.
All right. Let's close it out. We'll see you guys later. See you back here. See you in VR as always.
Later,
guys. See you.